For the Module 3 discussion post, it asks us to describe a scene in the film Dances with Wolves that employs the aesthetic convention of either the noble savage or the vanishing Indian. I decided to describe a scene in the movie that employs the aesthetic convention of the vanishing Indian, but first I just want to define what the vanishing Indian is. In Lecture 18, Dr. Callahan describes the vanishing Indian as the idea that Indians were a supposedly dying race. And the film and the movie that really stood out to me that employed the aesthetic convention of the vanishing Indian was after the scene where the Sioux Indians were going to save Lieutenant Dunbar from the American soldiers whenever the soldiers were taking him to go find the Indians. After the fighting scene was over between that where they saved Lieutenant Dunbar, you see his journal floating down the river, and to me that stood out and showed this aesthetic convention because it is more of symbolic rather than literal, because the journal had all of his information and experiences of the Indians in it, and you see it being washed away and vanishing in a sense. And to me, that was just one of the scenes that showed that aesthetic convention. There were other scenes in the movie, but that was the one that stood out to me.